I glanced at Vanessa in the mirror, adjusting the collar of my shirt. "You look perfect," I said, trying to hide my nerves. Vanessa smiled, tilting her head. "I always look perfect, don't I?" She teased, her eyes sparkling. I laughed. "You make me nervous, you know that?" She leaned closer, whispering, "That's the idea." I rolled my eyes but felt my stomach flutter. Today I was finally introducing her to my parents. I had imagined this moment 100 times, and somehow it never felt real until now. As we walked up the driveway, I squeezed her hand. "Ready to meet the ultimate judges?" She smirked. "Bring it on." Mom opened the door before I could knock. Her eyes studied Vanessa for a long moment, sharp but not unkind. "You must be Vanessa," she said, extending a hand. Vanessa shook it with perfect grace. "Yes, Mrs. Carter, it's an honor to meet you." Mom's gaze lingered, like she was weighing every word. I could feel my own heart thumping. "Come in," Mom said finally, stepping aside. Dad followed, carrying his usual serious expression, but when he smiled faintly, I felt a flicker of relief. Dinner was served, and Vanessa immediately started chatting about her job. "I recently led a project that got international recognition," she said, glancing at my parents proudly. Dad raised an eyebrow. "International recognition?" Vanessa nodded confidently. "Yes, it was a big deal. Everyone at work was so impressed. They even asked me to mentor new hires across offices." I caught her hand under the table, squeezing it gently. "She's always modest about her accomplishments," I said quickly. Mom tilted her head. "Is that so?" Her eyes never left Vanessa, searching for the truth. Vanessa laughed lightly. "Oh, Mrs. Carter, you're too kind. I just like to do my best." Her charm was disarming, I thought. I wanted to defend her, even as a tiny voice in my head whispered caution. She continued, sharing stories of charity events she attended and volunteered at, her words painting a picture of perfection. I noticed a slight exaggeration when she mentioned organizing a gala, but I shrugged it off. Maybe she wanted to impress them. "So, Vanessa," Dad said, leaning forward, "what are your long-term goals?" She smiled, confident. "I hope to continue growing professionally, contribute to meaningful projects, and of course support my future family in every way I can." I caught my mom's raised eyebrow. Even she looked a little surprised by the ambitious answer. I whispered to Vanessa, "You're going overboard." She winked at me. "I know what I'm doing." The rest of dinner passed with light chatter, Vanessa charming my parents with stories, laughter, and that effortless smile that could make anyone believe anything. Every so often, she added subtle embellishments that I noticed but chose to ignore. I wanted to trust her completely. As we cleared the table, Mom said, "Vanessa, you handled yourself well tonight. I can tell you care about making a good impression." "I just wanted to make everyone feel comfortable," Vanessa replied, her smile unwavering. Dad nodded. "She seems genuine." I exhaled silently. My heart was full. Despite the small doubts creeping into my mind, I felt lucky, like I had found someone who could fit perfectly into our family. I didn't realize yet how thin the line was between charm and deception. For now, I held her hand as we walked to the living room, convinced I knew everything about her. I smiled, thinking maybe she really is perfect. After dinner, Vanessa and I sank onto the living room couch, the quiet of the house settling around us. "That went well," I said, trying to sound casual, though my chest was still racing from nerves. Vanessa leaned back, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "I think so," she said, smiling. "Your parents are intimidating, aren't they?" "They can be," I admitted. "But they're also fair." "You handled it better than I expected," she shrugged. "I just wanted to make a good impression." "Is that bad?" I hesitated, feeling a flicker of doubt. "No, but sometimes honesty is enough. You don't need to overdo it." Vanessa's eyes twinkled. "Maybe I overdid it a little." I laughed, reaching for her hand. "Just a little?" She squeezed my fingers, giving me that charming, confident smile I loved. But something about it felt different tonight. Sharper, practiced. I shook the thought away. Maybe I was just tired, overthinking. Later, after she went to her room to make a phone call, I stayed in the living room, pretending to read a magazine. I could hear her voice clearly, though she thought I wasn't listening. "Yes, he was so impressed," she said to someone on the phone. I told him about the project I led. It was huge, international. They asked me to handle mentoring across all offices. I froze. That was exactly what she told my parents. But the excitement in her voice, it was like she was reporting, proving herself to someone else. "You're lying, right?" I whispered under my breath, though I knew she wouldn't hear me. "No, I mean, I volunteered at that gala, too," Vanessa continued. "Everyone thought I organized it. They were amazed. Mom said I was amazing." I pressed my hand against my forehead, trying to process it. My stomach twisted. She wasn't just embellishing to impress my parents. She was practicing lies to convince someone else, too. "Vanessa," I muttered softly, stepping closer to the doorway. "What are you doing?" "Shh," she whispered into the phone. "I have to sound perfect. He can't know the truth about my family." "It's complicated." I leaned against the wall, my heart pounding. "Complicated? Vanessa, you lied to my parents and now you're rehearsing lies?" I stayed silent, waiting for her to finish the call. A soft chuckle floated through the phone. "Yeah, they loved it." I sounded so impressive. I felt a cold weight settle in my chest. I had trusted her. I thought I knew her. But now, sitting there, listening to her craft lies like she was preparing a performance, I didn't recognize her at all. The phone call ended, and Vanessa came back into the living room, smiling casually. "Finished," she said, plopping next to me. "What were you doing out here?" "Nothing," I replied, though my voice betrayed me. I could feel my mind spinning, trying to reconcile the fiancé I loved with the woman I had just overheard. "You okay?" she asked, tilting her head. Yeah, I'm fine," I said, forcing a smile. But inside I was shattered. Betrayal, confusion, and disbelief tangled together. She reached for my hand again, warm and familiar, and I wanted to believe in her, desperately. But the seed of doubt had been planted, growing fast. For the first time, I realized that trust could be fragile, shattered in a single careless moment. And I didn't know if I could put it back together. I swallowed hard, trying to keep my voice steady. "Vanessa, we need to talk, soon," she nodded, still smiling, unaware of the storm I was feeling. I stayed quiet after that, sitting on the couch, feeling the weight of a lie that was bigger than I had imagined. The night suddenly felt colder, and I wondered if the person I loved most was someone I had never truly known. I waited until the house was quiet before I knocked on Vanessa's bedroom door. "Can we talk?" I asked softly. "Sure," she said, her voice calm, but I caught a slight hesitation. I stepped inside. "I overheard your call tonight." Vanessa froze mid-step, her smile faltering. You what?" "I heard everything," I said, holding her gaze. "The lies about your family, your job, everything you told my parents and then repeated to someone else." Her eyes widened and she laughed nervously. It's not what you think. I was just what?" I interrupted, my voice rising. "Practicing lies? Making yourself look better? Do you have any idea how that feels?" "I didn't mean any harm," she said quickly. "I just wanted to impress your parents. They're intimidating, and I thought, you thought lying would make them like you." I snapped, pacing the room. "Vanessa, honesty is all they want. That's it." "How could you think this was okay?" She crossed her arms, her charm slipping slightly. "I didn't know how else to make a good impression. Don't you get it? I care about you, about us. I just wanted them to like me." I ran a hand through my hair, frustration boiling over. "Do you even realize what this does to me? I trusted you. I thought I knew you. And now, you think I'm a liar?" She cut in, defensive. "I'm not a liar." "I just what?" I shouted, my voice echoing in the room. "Manipulated my parents. Manipulated me. Do you even see what you've done?" Vanessa's face flushed and she took a shaky breath. "I didn't want to hurt anyone. I thought I was helping making everything perfect." "Perfect?" I laughed bitterly. "Do you know what perfect is? Perfect doesn't need rehearsing, Vanessa. Perfect doesn't need to lie." She stepped closer, eyes pleading. "I wanted to make you proud. I wanted your family to accept me." I shook my head, anger mixing with disbelief. "I don't care about impressing them if it means lying. You can't just build trust on lies and expect it to last. How long were you planning to keep this up?" Vanessa's eyes darted away, guilt flickering across her face. I didn't think about that. I was nervous, okay? I wanted everything to go well." I took a deep breath, trying to calm the storm inside me. "Nervous? That doesn't excuse it. I don't even know who I was with tonight. The Vanessa I loved, she wouldn't need to lie." Tears glistened in her eyes, but her voice was still sharp. "So now what? Are you going to leave me? After everything?" I swallowed hard, my chest tight. "I don't know if I can forgive this, not yet." I need to understand why you felt lying was the only option. I need to know if I ever really knew you." Her shoulders slumped, the confident, charming facade cracking. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to be someone you and your family would admire." "You already have me," I said quietly, my voice shaking. "But I needed honesty, Vanessa. That's all I ever wanted. Now I don't even know what to believe." She reached for my hand, trembling slightly. "Please, can't we just move past this?" "I can explain. I pulled my hand back, feeling a mix of anger and heartbreak. "Not yet. I can't pretend this didn't happen. I can't pretend I didn't hear every word." The room fell silent, only the faint hum of the air conditioner filling the space. I looked at her. Her arrogance faded, leaving vulnerability I hadn't seen before. But the betrayal cut too deep, and I didn't know if it could be healed. I exhaled slowly. "We need time. I need time." "I can't just forget this, Vanessa." She nodded, swallowing hard, her eyes pleading. "I understand. I'll wait. I'll do whatever it takes." I turned away, feeling the weight of a trust broken and the first cracks in what I thought was an unshakable love. I sat alone in my room, the quiet pressing down on me. I could still hear Vanessa's voice from earlier, rehearsing lies like they were some performance she had to perfect. My chest burned with anger and betrayal. I muttered to myself, how could I have been so blind? A memory flashed, her casually claiming she volunteered at the shelter last month. I remembered calling to check, only to find out she never went. And the gala she organized? My parents had actually mentioned it later. They knew someone else had run it. My stomach twisted. This wasn't one lie, it was a pattern. "I trusted you," I whispered, my voice tight. "And you used it against me." I opened my phone and scrolled through old messages. Each one painted the same picture. Little exaggerations, small manipulations, each designed to impress me or others. I clenched my fist. I won't let her get away with this. But then my mind hesitated. I don't want to humiliate her unnecessarily, I said quietly. I want her to face the truth, but fairly. I need to be smart. I paced my room, running scenarios through my head. How could I expose her without turning this into a cruel game? I thought of my parents, their eyes, always searching for honesty. If they knew everything, Vanessa couldn't hide behind charm. But I needed proof, something undeniable. I started compiling evidence in my mind. Text messages, calls, inconsistencies, and stories, I murmured. I can gather it all quietly, then show them. Let the truth speak for itself. I imagined confronting her next time she tried to lie. Vanessa, I'd say, calm but firm. You can't keep doing this. I know what's real and my parents will know too. She would probably smirk, try to charm me back, but I wouldn't fall for it. I felt a shift inside me, something I hadn't noticed before. A cold focus replacing hurt. I've been naive, I admitted, but I won't be naive again. I picked up my laptop and opened our messages. Her texts about volunteer work, the gala, her mentoring responsibilities, all carefully worded to impress. I screenshot everything, labeling each one with dates and times. This will show the truth, I muttered. I paused, realizing the moral line I was walking. Am I becoming like her? I asked myself. Manipulating to expose manipulation? But the answer came quickly. No, I said firmly. This isn't for pride or revenge. It's for justice. She needs to see the consequences of her actions. I thought about my parents' reactions. Mom, always perceptive, would notice every inconsistency. Dad, stern but fair, would weigh the truth against intentions. I imagined them listening to the facts, not my emotions, and I felt a flicker of satisfaction. I can do this, I whispered to myself, determination settling in my chest. I can handle this carefully. I can make her face reality without crossing the line into cruelty. I leaned back in my chair, letting out a slow breath. This isn't just about her, I realized. It's about me, too. I need to protect myself, my trust, and my family. I can't let lies dictate my life. For the first time since dinner, I felt a sense of control. The anger was still there, simmering, but it was tempered by clarity. I wasn't blindly in love anymore. I was awake, aware, and ready to act. I closed my laptop and looked at her photo on my desk. Vanessa, I whispered. You're about to learn that charm can't cover everything, and I'm not the naive fool I once was. I sat in silence for a moment, feeling the seeds of revenge and justice taking root. It wasn't about cruelty. It was about truth, exposure, and finally reclaiming the power she had tried to take from me. Tonight, I realized something crucial. I could be hurt, betrayed, and still choose my path. And this path would lead to justice, not just for me, but for the truth itself. I waited until Vanessa was in the kitchen, distracted by snacks, before I quietly set my phone on speaker. I dialed her friend's number, the one she had practiced lies with earlier, and put it on speakerphone where my parents could hear. "What are you doing?" Vanessa asked, noticing me. "Just a little experiment," I said, forcing a casual tone. My parents were in the living room, pretending to read magazines, but I knew their eyes were on us. Vanessa frowned, but shrugged. "Okay." I held my breath as she answered the call. "Hello?" "Hi, Vanessa," her friend's voice came through. "Did you practice your stories?" Vanessa giggled, the same rehearsed charm she had shown at dinner. "Of course!" I told him about the project I led. It was huge, international. Everyone at work is so impressed. They even asked me to mentor new hires across offices. I felt a tight knot in my stomach. My parents' expressions shifted instantly. Mom's eyes narrowed slightly. Dad's jaw clenched. "That's amazing," her friend said, impressed. "And you told him everything?" Vanessa's voice lifted with pride. "Yes! I even told them about the gala I organized last month. Everyone said I was incredible." I stayed silent, letting her words hang in the air. I watched my parents' reactions. Mom's lips pressed into a thin line, Dad's fingers drumming lightly on the armrest. I could see the disbelief, the dawning realization that something was off. "You really handled that well," her friend said. "I'm so proud of you." "I know," Vanessa said smugly. "I made sure to impress him and his parents. They'll never doubt me." I held back a smile, feeling a cold satisfaction. The truth was coming out and there was nothing she could do. Vanessa turned to me, noticing the phone on speaker. "Wait, what is this?" I pointed subtly toward the living room. "I think someone is listening." Her face froze, color draining fast. You didn't," I didn't answer. I just let her panic settle over her like a storm. Mom cleared her throat, calm but firm. "Vanessa, can we speak with you for a moment?" Vanessa's eyes darted between me and my parents, her confident facade crumbling. I can explain." Dad's voice was steady, serious. "Vanessa, the stories you told tonight, do they match reality?" Her throat tightened. "Well, Mom leaned forward, piercing gaze fixed on her. "Vanessa, we noticed several inconsistencies. Projects, volunteer work, achievements, you told us you did things you didn't." She opened her mouth, trying to regain control, but no words came. Her arrogance and charm had evaporated, leaving only panic. I didn't think it mattered," she whispered finally. I wanted to impress you." "You lied," I said quietly, my voice calm but cutting. "You rehearsed lies to make us believe something that wasn't true. And you didn't just lie to us, you lied to me." Tears welled in her eyes, but she was shaking, trying to maintain composure. I just wanted to, I thought it would help." "You thought wrong," Dad said firmly. "Honesty matters more than charm, Vanessa. And it matters to the people who care about you. Manipulating trust has consequences." I could see the weight of realization hitting her fully now. She was caught, exposed, humiliated, and there was no charming smile to save her. I didn't mean to hurt anyone," she stammered, panic thick in her voice. You built your image on lies," Mom said gently but firmly. "And now you're facing the result. This is what truth looks like." I stayed silent, letting the moment stretch. Watching her collapse emotionally, her confidence shattered, was painful and satisfying at the same time. My chest ached from betrayal, but a part of me finally felt vindicated. Vanessa sank into the chair, covering her face with her hands. "I can't believe this is happening," she whispered. "I can't," I said softly, leaning back. "Because this is what happens when trust is broken. You wanted to impress, now you see the cost." Her sobs were quiet at first, then louder, echoing in the room. My parents didn't mock or scold her further. They let the truth do its work. I felt a complicated mix of emotions, triumph, sorrow, and relief. The person I thought I knew had been revealed, and finally, I had clarity. For the first time in hours, I allowed myself a breath. The storm had hit, and I knew the fallout would change everything. Vanessa slumped in the chair, her eyes red from tears, but her voice tried to hold the same practiced confidence. "I can explain," she said softly, almost pleading. Mom shook her head. "Vanessa, the explanations don't match reality. We heard the truth, and it's not about intentions. It's about honesty. She looked at me, desperate. I was trying to help. I thought if I impressed your parents, they'd like me and You'd what? I interrupted, my voice firm, steady. Lie to my parents? Manipulate their trust? You did more than try to help. You broke the trust I had in you. That's not love, Vanessa. Her eyes widened, but she tried to recover. I care about you. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Can't you see that? I shook my head. Caring about someone doesn't excuse lying to them or the people they care about. Do you know how that feels? I was nervous, she whispered, voice trembling. I didn't know how to handle it. I wanted everything to be perfect. I leaned back in my chair, letting her words sink in, but they didn't soften the anger inside me. Perfection doesn't need rehearsing. Honesty doesn't need lies, and trust isn't built on manipulation. Mom's gaze was unwavering. Vanessa, you had an opportunity to be genuine. Instead, you created a false image and expected everyone to admire it. That's not how respect works. Vanessa's shoulders slumped, her confident posture gone. I didn't think about the consequences. I just wanted to be someone you'd approve of. I felt a tight knot in my chest, the mixture of betrayal and empowerment swirling inside me. Vanessa, approval isn't what matters. Integrity does. Character does. And now you see how quickly lies fall apart. She reached toward me, a trembling hand. Please, can't we just forget this? I can fix it. I pulled my hand back slowly, maintaining a calm that surprised even me. No, Vanessa. You can't fix trust once it's broken. You can only learn from the consequences of your actions. I've changed and I can't go back to the naive love I once had. I can't pretend this didn't happen. Tears streamed down her face now, but there was no charm left to mask the panic. I didn't mean to ruin everything. I just wanted to... I don't know. You wanted to impress, I said quietly, my voice strong. And in doing so, you forgot honesty and you lost credibility. This isn't about punishing you, Vanessa. It's about showing you the cost of manipulation. She looked at my parents, as if hoping they would side with her. But their expressions were firm. Dad's jaw was tight, Mom's eyes calm but disapproving. There was no escape. I see it now, Vanessa whispered, voice breaking. I misjudged everything. I really messed up. Yes, Mom said gently but firmly. You misjudged trust, respect, and honesty. These are things you can't fake or manipulate. And now you're facing the outcome. I felt a strange mixture of satisfaction and sorrow. I had wanted clarity and now I had it. My heart still ached from the betrayal, but I could see the power shift happening. Her charm and confidence, the things that once disarmed everyone, were useless now. Truth was stronger than manipulation. Vanessa's hands covered her face, shuddering. I didn't know it would be like this. I thought if I was perfect, you'd love me. I took a deep breath, holding my calm like a shield. Vanessa, love isn't built on falsehoods. You can't construct feelings with lies and expect them to hold. What you feel for me doesn't erase the consequences of your actions. She looked up briefly, desperation in her eyes. Do you hate me? I shook my head slowly. No, but I can't trust you anymore. I can't go back to being the naive person I was. I've learned that actions matter more than words, and honesty matters more than charm. The weight of my words seemed to crush her arrogance completely. She sank lower in the chair, silence overtaking the room except for the faint hum of the air conditioner. Mom spoke softly. Vanessa, sometimes humility is the hardest lesson, and sometimes it comes from seeing the truth, even when it hurts. Learn from this, Dad added. People make mistakes, but we are responsible for them. This is a moment to understand that your choices have consequences. Vanessa nodded weakly, tears falling freely now. I understand. I really do. I watched her, feeling a mix of sorrow and clarity. The woman I loved had been exposed, not by anger, but by the weight of her own lies. I felt stronger, more grounded, morally certain of my choices. The betrayal had shifted the power, and for the first time I felt completely awake, fully aware of who I was and what I would no longer tolerate. I think you should go, I said finally, voice calm but unwavering. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Yes, I understand. As she left the house, the door clicking softly behind her, I exhaled. The storm had passed, and in the silence, I felt a new strength. I had survived betrayal, confronted it, and emerged clearer, empowered, and no longer naive. The truth had won, and so had I. The morning after Vanessa left felt unusually quiet. I sat at the kitchen table with my parents, the sunlight spilling in across the counter. For the first time in days, there was no tension, no rehearsed smiles, no hidden motives. Just the truth. Mom poured tea and placed it in front of me. "You slept well?" she asked softly, a small smile tugging at her lips. "I did," I said, taking the cup, though I kept thinking about everything that happened, about her lies and what I should have seen sooner. Dad leaned back in his chair, watching me. It's not easy to recognize betrayal, especially from someone you care about. But you handled it with integrity. That matters. I nodded, taking a slow sip. It does, but it's strange. I feel lighter and heavier at the same time. Lighter because I'm free from deception, heavier because of the trust that was broken. Mom reached over, placing her hand on mine. "You'll rebuild that trust, first with yourself, then with others. And we'll be here to support you." I smiled, a genuine one that hadn't come easily in days. "Thanks, Mom. I think I needed this moment to reflect, to realize how easily I let charm blind me, how easily I let love excuse dishonesty." Dad nodded. "It's a lesson many people learn too late. You've learned it now, and that makes all the difference. You're stronger than you think." I set my cup down and leaned back. I used to think love was everything, that it could fix mistakes, excuse lies, and smooth over problems. But now I understand it isn't enough. Love without trust is fragile. Love without honesty is nothing at all, Mom smiled softly. Exactly. You don't have to carry the weight of others' mistakes. You just have to remain true to yourself. I took a deep breath, letting their words sink in. I think that's what I need now, honesty with myself. I need to process everything without pretending it didn't hurt, without pretending I don't feel betrayed. But I also need to move forward. Dad leaned forward, hands clasped. "And you will. You'll rebuild, make better choices, and protect yourself. That's the power of reflection and self-respect." I nodded, thinking about Vanessa. She was skilled at manipulating, at charm. But it didn't last. Truth always finds a way. I guess that's comforting in a way. Even when someone tries to deceive, there's a natural balance. Mom laughed softly. Balance, justice, karma. You can call it whatever you want. But yes, consequences always catch up. The important part is how you respond. I smiled a little wryly. I responded by standing firm, by letting truth speak, by letting her face her own mistakes. Dad's gaze was steady, and that shows growth, maturity, and strength. You didn't stoop to revenge for the sake of revenge. You let the truth unfold naturally. That's something not everyone can do. I thought about the chaos, the anger, the heartbreak, and the sense of triumph I'd felt. It's strange. I expected relief, but there's more than that. There's sorrow too. I mourn the love I thought I had, the version of her I believed in, but I also feel liberated. Free from toxicity, from lies, from manipulation. Mom nodded knowingly. You grieve because you cared. That's natural. But liberation comes from learning and reclaiming control. That's empowerment. I let their words echo in my mind, realizing how much I had grown in the past few days. I also learned to value honesty above charm, to recognize the difference between appearances and reality, and to trust my instincts before ignoring warning signs. Dad smiled. Exactly. Experience teaches more than warnings ever could. And now you can carry those lessons forward. I laughed softly, a little bitter but relieved. It feels like I'm seeing the world clearly for the first time in months. Like I was walking blind, letting her manipulate me, and now the light's on. Everything is sharper, clearer. Mom reached for my hand again. That clarity is a gift. It may feel painful now, but it's what will guide your relationships, your decisions, and your self-respect in the future. I thought about the future, the relationships I would choose, the people I would trust, the life I would live free from deceit. I won't let anyone deceive me like that again. I won't let charm mask dishonesty, and I won't let love blind me to reality. That's my promise to myself. Dad's expression softened. And you should keep that promise. You've earned the right to protect your heart and your values. I took a deep breath, feeling a weight lift from my chest. I'm grateful for both of you, for the guidance, the patience, and for showing me what really matters: honesty, integrity, and trust. Mom smiled warmly. We're proud of you, and we always will be no matter what happens. I nodded, swallowing hard. Thanks, I think I'm ready to step forward now. To rebuild, to live honestly, and to seek relationships that are real, not rehearsed. Dad clapped a hand lightly on my shoulder. That's the right mindset. Life isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about learning from them and becoming stronger. I stood, feeling the sunlight on my face, the warmth filling me with hope. I feel stronger already, wiser, more aware, and free, Mom laughed softly. And that's exactly how you should feel. Free from the weight of deceit, free to live your life on your own terms. I smiled at them both. I'll never forget these lessons, and I'll never compromise my values again. This experience, it hurt, it humiliated me, it made me question everything, but it also taught me who I am and what I deserve. Dad nodded. Exactly. You've taken control. That's what matters. I stepped outside, the morning air crisp and clean. The world felt vast, full of possibility. I walked down the driveway thinking of the past week, of the betrayal, the exposure, and the catharsis. Every step forward felt lighter, each one a reclaiming of my power. I didn't look back. Vanessa's chapter had closed, and her consequences were hers alone. My future was unwritten, full of honesty, trust, and relationships that mattered. I was ready, I smiled to myself. For the first time in a long time, I felt at peace. Wiser, stronger, and ready for genuine connections. Life was mine again, and I would never let deception dictate it.